talking about New Orleans. Next slide will be my objectives. Some of the stuff I want you to know by the end of the lecture, we'll be able to summarize the history of cultural influences in New Orleans, also be able to explain the different factors that worsen the effect of Hurricane Katrina on the city, and understand a little bit more about the aftermath, and finally be able to describe different ways in which Mardi Gras is celebrated. Okay, so first of all, the pronunciation of the city, it's New Orleans, not New Orleans, which I think a lot of people I didn't know how to say before I went. And some people down there who have a very heavy accent, they might even go as far to say Nolans. But if you ever hear it said, or if you say it, it's New Orleans, that's how it goes. So a little bit about the history. It was claimed by Louis XIV in 1682 for France. And a lot of people ended up coming here from Europe and also from West Africa to either work or for the purpose of slavery. And in 1803, Napoleon sold the land to the United States for $15 million in the Louisiana Purchase. Does anyone want to guess how much $15 million is worth today? It's about more than $700 billion, but it's still one of the biggest real estate bargains that the United States has gotten in the history. And after it became part of the U.S., New Orleans became a really important city for commerce and trading, especially in the South, for importing and exporting goods to and from the Caribbean. So next, there was the Haitian Revolution in the late 1700s that brought a lot of Haitians here, or to New Orleans, and then a lot of French either were already here or had come over because due to the fact that it used to be under French rule. And they really established the city to kind of have a Paris-like feel to it. There's an area in New Orleans known as the French Quarter, and I would compare it to in Boston, the North End for Italian culture. There it's the French Quarter, and it's a really popular area of the city, and a lot of tourists like to go there. And as the country was getting a lot of immigrants during the 1900s, so was New Orleans, and people from all different types of countries were coming over, and it really added to the giant melting pot of the city. Next I want to talk about Hurricane Katrina, and you guys all know what it was. It was in 2005, it was during the hurricane season, a lot of flooding, a lot of damage occurred, a lot of people died. And there are a lot of reasons why this was so bad, and I'm just going to talk about two of them today. Hurricane Katrina actually wasn't that powerful of a storm in and of itself. It was about a 3 out of 5 on the scale, but the number one reason that Hurricane Katrina was so bad was because of the levee system. So levees are supposed to hold water, it's a wall that holds water out. The city is actually 5 feet under sea level. But these levees were built in the early 1900s, and it was an engineering fail. They didn't build them properly, it didn't maintain water out, they were improperly maintained. So when water came in, it was just a matter of time before the city was going to be destroyed, basically. It's just kind of sad to think about. But the other thing I want to talk about was this thing called Mr. Go, which I didn't know before. Mr. Go was a project that was put on by the government in '56 to build a canal between the Mississippi River and the Gulf for the purpose of having ships go through and trading and for national security reasons too. And this is the actual natural water between the two, and you can see it's really curvy, and it would take a long time for a ship to go through here versus just going straight through. So in theory, it was a great idea to have this canal. But when Hurricane Katrina hit or started brewing out here in the Gulf, it literally went like straight into the city. And it went much harder and much stronger than had it gone through the natural system of either going through this curviness, or if it went through land, it would have been met by trees or brush or other things like that. And those factors would have weakened the storm significantly. But instead, now we have the Mr. Go, and it just went straight into the city, being way more powerful than it ever should have been. And that's one of the reasons why it was hit so badly too. So this is my picture of Mr. Go. If you had been here in '56, it would have all been trees and land and much nicer. But now it's just a bunch of water. And if you can imagine like a storm had been brewing up here, it would have just went straight into the city. This is my picture of the Lower Ninth Ward, and if you ever heard about it on the news, it was the area that was most hard hit by Katrina because it's right next to the levees. And it's also not, it's very barren today. Nobody really, a lot of people moved away and nobody really moved back because, I mean, why would you? If they had such a bad history here now and a lot of the land still looks like this. This is where a house used to be. So, in the aftermath of the storm, a lot of people, like I said, moved away and some people didn't come back, some did. And some families who had children who moved away, some kids didn't go to school when they were gone. I met a 13-year-old boy, he was in 4th grade, and he just didn't go to school for 4 years. And it's kind of sad, and there's been a lot of effort to rebuild the school system there and help kids stay in school, graduate, and even go on to college. A lot of organizations also help with the relief, disaster relief, like FEMA or Red Cross. And then there's also celebrities who like to help out with rebuilding. Like Brad Pitt donated $5 million to rebuild new homes, and I'll show you a couple pictures of those. And just put a little plug in here. There's always opportunity to volunteer. Like that's where I went to volunteer for alternative spring break. And New Orleans really still does need a lot of help. The city is nowhere near like, I heard about it on the news and I thought it would have been like fixed by now, but I didn't know. I went there earlier this year and there's still a lot of work to be done. So these are some of the Brad Pitt homes. You can see that they're really weird looking. And, like Brad didn't design these, but some architect did. And keep going through them. So they're just really odd, but nonetheless they still house people, and these are now people's homes. And these are located in the Lower Ninth Ward. Okay. Finally, I'm just going to talk about Mardi Gras. When I say Mardi Gras, what do you guys think of? Just like party, beads.
Jordan furniture.
Jordan furniture. I didn't get hit by any furniture. But, so Mardi Gras stands for Fat Tuesday in French, and it's basically the big celebration that occurs before Ash Wednesday and the beginning of Lent. And so they are celebrated like months and months before Ash Wednesday, really. Like it kind of starts in December, even November. And some people just keep their decorations up year round. They have a lot of traditions. The next one. So there's this thing called the king cake tradition. It's just this cinnamon dough cake, and inside they have this little plastic baby figurine. So if you get the piece with the baby, then you like win, and you are the king or the queen of that party that you're at, and you get to bring the king cake for the next party. It's just like a fun little tradition. And they have a lot of parades, like during the day, during the night, especially closer towards Ash Wednesday, and a lot of types of floats. So I'll show you a few pictures of the floats. They're really intricate, a lot of detail goes into them. They have a lot of contests, and they have people on top throwing beads. And by the way, you don't need to like show anything to get beads. Like everyone gets beads. I don't know, that's like a myth, I think. And this is like a high school band. They have marching bands just like on random days going through and playing. So, what questions do you guys have?
Is anybody going to the mid-year or the HVHA meeting this spring? Yeah, good. It is a fun city. We didn't talk about the food very much.
Oh yeah, I didn't focus on the food.
Yeah, other than your objectives, I know, but
Right.
food's really good.